Hello and welcome to my wildlife here, week 32. I have to actually think what week we're on now. I'm getting so far into the year. So, without further ado, let's crack on and see what I've been up to this week.
Haven't had anything in the traps for a while, and look what I've just found. Wood mouse. So, take it out and pop it in a tub.
Right, so this one here, quite calm, is a female wood mouse. So, just going to pop her in a tub and take her to release. Visiting hair stains with some family, and just noticed underneath these oak leaves some galls. So I've got a gall book at home. I'll try and identify. So these are sort of like little ball galls. So I'm trying. There's some more there. Try and ID in my book what's caused them. These are sycamore leaves, and they've got a fungus in them called tar spot, because it makes these sort of like blackish spots on them, but doesn't seem to cause the leaf any damage or the tree any damage. It's just creates these big black spots on the leaves. This is a different oak tree, and it's got different galls on it. So these, if I remember right, I think they're a type of spangle gall. I can't remember what type, but hopefully my book back home will tell me. Here's yet another type of gall. So look, small oak apple gall. So we've got two different types of gall on here. One that looks like little donuts, another one that looks a bit like a nipple actually, I would say. But in fact, is that a third one up there? It is too. There's a third type there. Right. It's not actually often that you can spot leaves that have got galls underneath them, but these leaves have got so many galls it's actually affected the top of the leaves. Look at that. That is impressive. And here's some more here. So impressive stuff. So you can see there's more up there on those leaves. So these will all hatch out into little wasps, and then the whole cycle start again. What will happen is the leaves will drop off, and the galls onto the ground. The galls will hatch out down there. The wasps will hatch out and then fly off come the summer. And once the oaks and leaves will lay their eggs in the leaves.
I think, I could be wrong, but I think, yes. Do you see in there? Little face. But that actually looks like a vole rather than a mouse. Unbelievably. That's no small mammals for weeks, and then suddenly two in less than 24 hours of two species. So it's a young female. So pop in tub, take to release. There's a wood pigeon there. It looked actually as if it was looking for nesting material rather than food. It's going to fly off in a second. Or is it just going to walk away? It can actually fly, can't it? I'll go and check. Yes, it can. There we go. Right, well, that's nothing for weeks, and then suddenly 3 captures in 24 hours. Another juvenile bankful. So it's another juvenile female. So pop her in a tub and take her for release. Right, so I'm able to tell this is a German wasp because the gaps down its thorax there are all equally spaced, and then turn this round slightly. That bit going along there, that line isn't flat in the bottom, and a little shape of that triangle and how big it is. But also, can you see there's two little dots there underneath that, and this wasp's just starting to wake up, so we pop it back in the tub. Those two wee dots underneath that, quite often you'll be told that the German wasp has 3 dots in its face. Well, sometimes it does, but sometimes it doesn't. I rarely use face to ID German wasps from other species of wasp. Basically, the 3 dots can be there, but more often than not, it's a bit of a bar with 2 dots, and sometimes it actually almost looks like a small anchor shape, and quite like a common wasp. So I always go for those gaps between the bits in the abdomen all being the same, and that side bar being not straight and going down a bit. That's my diagnostic ones I always use for telling German wasps, especially from common wasp. Here's another German wasp, and you can see again those a bar coming down those 2 dots rather than 3 separate dots. But let's look at the side. Yep, that's not flat, and on its back, come on, there we go, they're all roughly the same space between them, so definitely a German wasp. Right, well, got another vole in my live mammal trap. That's 4 and 36 hours, so this is a very young vole, so I'll take it out and relocate. I was making I was doing barbecue today. We had a barbecue today, and we had gluten-free sausages and some chicken on this plate. As you can see, the wasps, the German wasps, I think, looking closely, yeah, German wasps are having a wee meal. Some of the meat that was left, just little bits. I've got this bat in care. Unfortunately, it's been caught by a cat, so I don't know whether you just caught a glimpse there. There's some daylight in the wings. It's got a few small cuts on its wings, basically holes. Could be a cat that caught it last night, so it was rescued off the cat, but I've taken it into care, so hopefully it's going to be okay. You can actually see in the wings there, you can see some daylight through. They're the biggest wounds, and there's a lot of cats catch bats, and unfortunately sometimes, you know, there's bone damage. There's no way they can actually be saved. Well, they can be saved, but they won't have any life because they won't be able to fly. This one, I don't think there's any broken bones. I can't see any. So it seems to be moving about and flapping its wings. The wings are extending, both wings. So I'm hoping that it'll be able to do it. Bats can fly with holes in their wings, and actually over time the holes, will heal up a bit, and there'll actually be some quite scar tissue. So I'm quite hopeful that as long as this bat doesn't get an infection, which it can happen, and trying to get antibiotics out of vets for bat treatment is amazingly hard for some reason, but hopefully that she's going to be okay and she'll be flying soon.
Here you can see some of the tears in the wing membrane, but she doesn't seem to have any broken bones, which is good. If you've ever wondered what a close-up of a pipistrelle bat eating a mealworm looks like, here you go. That's the first apple falling off the tree, and the blackbird's taking advantage of it. There's also a wood pigeon there. It's heading towards the pond. I don't know whether it's going for a bath, but I'm just about to go and open up the hens. You can just see it hiding in there. There it is. They've got a wood mouse in the humane trap in the kitchen today. Unbelievable. You can see the difference here. Wood mouse and bankable. Wood mice are very jumpy. I always describe them as tiny kangaroos. As is often the case when you get a mouse in their hand, or actually any small mammal in their hand, they decide to poo. So this one has and there's the tub I'm about to put it in, just been blown off. So I better go and pop her in a tub. Right, here we go. Just getting ready to release the mouse. There she goes. Just had this little one dropped off at the front door. Been outside, sitting outside, obviously a young sparrow, been sitting on the ground, not moving, no sign of parents for several hours, which is always a bad sign. So because it's getting a bit late in the evening, the person decided to take it in, and someone had obviously passed on my name to them because they turned up at the door with a shoebox with it in it. So I'll take it outside and get it nice and warm. Right, so if you've been watching my wildlife here, you'll know I do a fair bit of wildlife rescuing, and I've been buying bits of equipment here and picking it up and using stuff sort of like, you know, repurposing stuff for it. And basically, past year and a bit hasn't been great income wise for me, so I'm struggling a bit to just pay for wildlife rescue stuff and that. I could do with some extra bits and pieces. So I took the decision to put a wish list up on Amazon, and this morning the doorbell rang and I put it up yesterday, and it's arrived in the post. It's basically different bottles and syringes with teats that I put on the wish list, and to say I was moved is probably a bit of an understatement. I teared up a wee bit because it's just as wonderful someone's sent this thing. I know who it is and I thank you for it. I don't want to say the name, you know, because I don't want to, sort of like, if they want to remain confidential. But thank you for that. And if anyone else wants to buy something off the wish list, the prices range from just under £4 to around £14. So the wish list's in the link in my bio. So yes, I'm really pleased and quite moved by it. I'm at Whitmere Organic Farm again, the quickest garden plants nursery. I'm going there to help set up my friend David, who I did the Batworks checks with last week. We're going to set up some moth traps for a moth trapping event tomorrow morning. It's a bit damp at the moment, but hopefully the weather will be a bit better overnight and tomorrow morning. We'll wait and see. Anyway, I'm going to go out and put on a waterproof and go and see David. Well, that's the 3 moth traps out. That's one just there behind me. Try to get the pointing right. The other 2, one's down by the wildlife pond and one's up near the nursery nursery shed. So yes, hopefully tomorrow, the weather's supposed to be quite dry. Hopefully tomorrow we'll have a few folk come along. Here's the rescued bat eating one of the mealworms. She's doing quite well. Eating well, drinking well, and
I've just been letting their wings recover from the trauma of getting the holes in it, so hopefully give her a test flight in a day or two and hopefully she'll fly. Looks like there's been a sparrowhawk kill in the garden, and it's actually, I don't know whether you can see, there's a little wasp there. It's obviously just scavenging any bits of flesh basically to take back to the nest to feed the young. It's the first time I've ever seen that, but that looks as if it's a bit of bird that's still there because there's the way the feathers is. That's cool. Right, so back at Curtis Plants Nursery, and the moth trap's been in all night. I've had a quick look in. I know we've got some moths, so we'll go and see. David's got 2 other moth traps out, so hopefully we'll have a good haul.
It's just like, oh yeah, that's an antler.
That's it, yes. Yes.
Okay. Right, well, we've had 2 traps emptied so far, and we've got quite the species list. So it's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20 species, and those ones along there in the clear ones at the bottom, there's 8 there I think, have still to be ID'd. I'm going to have a look at them. So these ones here I'm just about to take to empty, and David is over there leading the people that are attending this event over to the 3rd trap to get it while I empty the traps. Obviously I meant empty the tubs there. Right, just before I release them, I'll show you some of the ones we've got. Large yellow underwings, quite a few of them. There's one showing the yellow underwing, although I think it looks orange more than yellow. See, there's another large yellow. That's a common rustic aggregate. That one there is a rosy rustic, and this is a July high flyer. That's an antler. You can see why it's called an antler on there. Shape on it. I'm just seeing that's a dotted clay in there. So yes, there was a burnished brass somewhere. Maybe it's been, no, here's the burnished brass. So quite a good haul. David's just about to start emptying the other 3rd moth trap, and up there, I don't know whether you'll be able to see, is a couple of buzzards flying around. In fact, 3 buzzards flying around up there. And calling away. And there was a kestrel earlier on hovering just over there, which was quite cool.
That's an antler. You might be you. I want you for it. The Graeme's about to say, no, it's a slight variant on one we've already seen. Yeah, put your wings in and get squashed. We don't want you squashed.
Might do the same as just a variant.
See, they're really good at getting out.
Naughty.
I'm pretty sure it was a July high flyer.
Yeah.
They're incredibly good at getting out.
It's a caddis that's just escaped.
This is a parasitic. Yes.
The dark archers. Come on.
Right, got the moth list here for today, and it was 116 moths of 28 species, which is a cracking haul. I said yesterday that I was quite moved when I got this package of from my wildlife wish list, and I got another package today
that had 2 forceps and also some digital mini scales in it. Mini scales got to be really useful because very precise, so when I've got something like a bat, I've got to be able to follow its weight gain, hopefully gain, not loss, over time, but I know I'll be able to if there is a weight loss that I need to do something. But yeah, I mean, it's something else that I don't know that is actually just sent stuff. As I say, I was a bit hesitant to actually do the Amazon wish list, but because I didn't want it to look as if I was, I don't know what word I'm really looking for, but I just wanted to sort of like, to maximise the benefit I can give to wildlife, and people have just been absolutely wonderful. I know a couple of other people have been in touch with me to say what's the most important thing you want off your wish list, so it's just really nice to know it's sort of, even in these times of doom and gloom with the climate crisis and that, there are still people out there that are caring about wildlife and want to help out in any way they can. So thank you to the person that sent me the digital scales and the forceps, and thanks to anyone else that sends me anything off my wish list.
Just noticed this in the top of the ceiling in one of the toilets in the manse. It's a forked palped harvestman. It lies flat. You can see it's actually lying flat against the ceiling. And if you look in the palps, they're actually forked. So it's a nice harvestman. Harvestmen are arachnids. They have 8 legs, but they're not spiders. They're separate. You can see here it's just a round body. Basically spiders have a thorax and an abdomen with a waist. The head of the harvestman is just attached to its body, on top of its body, so it just sticks out the top, the eyes. So yes, a nice little find. This one arrived, I can't remember what year. It's an aggregate species, if I remember right. I think there's more than one species that you can't tell apart without dissection, and it arrived, I think, in the 50s, but I could be wrong. I might be making that up, don't quote me on it please. But it certainly arrived in this country, but it's spread north fairly quickly.
Well, I've got yet another mouse in the humane trap in the kitchen. This one's a male wood mouse, and Dexter's taking quite a bit of interest in it. So, take him and release him far away from here so he doesn't return. We've found how to get Dexter to walk really nice. Let's take a little rodent with us because he just wants to see it. But anyway, got to release it now. Come on, off you go. Off you go. There we go. It's gone, Dexter, see? It's gone. It's gone. I know, it's over there. Unbelievably. I don't know if I'll be able to see it. Yep, there it is. Unbelievable. I've just come back from releasing the mouse, and look, we've got a bank vault in the trap. Another trip out to release it. I put one of these on the wish list for wildlife. You can actually see there's the bank vault there that's in it. On my wish list of things for wildlife rescue. And I thought, well, how good is it for transporting, and is it secure? Well, the answer is yes, because I've just used it to transport the bank vault that I caught in the humane trap. So, works well. And there it is there. The pond's looking really good now. I got some more when I was up at Quercus Plant. I got some more. I got that one, the water forget-me-not, and also this rush here. It's a miniature rush. It's not going to grow too big for this size of pond. So, and the water's really clear. It went really murky, all algae, but I managed to source some snails, some pond snails, and literally within a few days of putting them in, it's cleared up the algae. I could have waited to, hopefully they would have come in on maybe the legs of something or something like that, but I just sort of thought, well, I'll just get a few and pop them in, and they have done the job. So the water's nice and clear and ready for any other invertebrates to come along and colonise the pond, hopefully soon. I don't know whether I've actually explained on my wildlife year before how I know that things like this are birds of prey rather than fox or something like that. It's because of the feathers. The feathers are all pointed, which means that they've been plucked. If this had been a fox used their back teeth to sort of gnaw off all the feathers, so the feathers would be broken, sort of like flat along there. So all these feathers you can see all have points still in them. So they've been plucked, which is classic bird of prey. So if you ever find a bunch of feathers, check out and see if they've still got their points. You can know it's a bird of prey. If they've been chewed off, you know it's a fox. So Chunky's just eating a wee worm at the minute. Being named Chunky because someone called her a beautiful chunky darling on Twitter, and I thought that's a brilliant name. So Chunky has unfortunately not just got tears to her wing, but also a slight break. Well, not a slight break. She's got a simple break in one of her smaller fingers on her wings. So unfortunately, she's not going to be getting released anytime soon. But hopefully, as long as it's a simple break. If it's a compound fracture, that would be a different matter. But a simple break like this, they can heal. So I'm hopeful, because it's a small bone in the finger, that she'll be able to heal and be released. But I'm going to be keeping on care for quite a while yet, while she gets some rest and that wing heals. I won't be giving her any test flights anytime soon. Well, I hope you've enjoyed my wildlife here, week 33. You're watching this just after I've put it out on social media, on YouTube and IGTV. Then you've still got a day or two left to book a place if you want to come along on my Introduction to British Small Mammals, which is happening online on Zoom on Wednesday the 18th of August at 7 PM. It costs £12. The workshop consists of 1 hour pre-recorded workshop followed by a live Q&A with myself, and you also get an attendance certificate, access to a Google Drive folder which has the hour-long presentation, the pre-recorded presentation on it, as well as handouts and other useful documents. And it costs £12, and it's suitable for novices, students, and also experienced ecologists if they're not actually into the mammals already. It's a good way to get know about your small mammals. And the link's in the bio on my social media. And the other thing is, if anyone wants to buy me something from my wildlife rescue wish list, the link's in the bio too. I'm still quite overwhelmed by the amount of people that have actually sent me stuff that I just don't know, but I've obviously touched a nerve in a good way, obviously. And people have just been so generous, and I've been able to get things that have been on my to buy list for a while, but I just haven't been able to afford it. They've not been, big amounts of money, but obviously there's a few things and it's a cumulative effect. So if I'd bought them all at once, it would have been, I wouldn't have been able to afford it. So thank you everyone that's bought me something, and everyone that's also shared the stuff on social media and that. So anyway, before I got all emotional, and even more emotional, so I'll say cheerio, and I'll see you all for next week for my wildlife year, week 33. Stay safe and enjoy your wildlife.